Hey guys, Allison Marks here. This morning I had the opportunity to share a story from my childhood with my Sunday school class. We were asked if anyone had a story referencing our obedience and God's provision in our life. So when I was like 11, maybe 12 years old, my parents had given me the money for my sister and I to go to Frontier City with our youth group. It just so happens that the weekend the money was due, we had a visiting missionary come and speak. And so after she spoke, they passed a basket around and took up a collection. And I felt the Lord leading me to put this ticket money into the basket. I was a little hesitant. I thought, Lord, if I do this, my sister is going to kill me. But I did it. I put the money in the basket. I didn't know how I was going to tell my sister. I didn't know how I was going to tell my parents. As it turned out, I didn't have to, at least not right away. Afterwards, after service, I was headed out, and this lady approached me. I still don't know who she was. Never seen this lady before. I don't know. She just came out of nowhere, and she said, I really feel like God wants me to pay for you and your sister to go to Frontier City. And I was just blown away. There is no way that anyone could have known what I had just done. Like, the only one who knew I had put that money into that basket was me and God. The only one who knew what that money was for at that point in time was me and God. And the lady went on and she said, not only do I want to pay for you and your sister to go on this trip, but I want to give you money for meals and extra spending money in case there's anything you may need or want while you're there. And I was just like, what is this? God not only provided for us to go on that trip through it wasn't through my obedience, but in my obedience, God provided for us to go on this trip. But He provided above and beyond what I had given. No matter what, we cannot outgive God. I risked making my sister very angry, my parents very angry, and us not being able to go on the trip to Frontier City. When I was younger, our family didn't have a lot of money, so it was a struggle for my parents to even come up with the money to cover those tickets. I've learned, though, through obedience, God will show up and show out. And I'm not just talking about finances. Of course, we need to be obedient in our giving and in our financial side of things, but we also need to be obedient in giving of our time, of our resources, of our gifts, talents, skills. It's our ministry. Wherever we go, whatever we do, we need to be walking in God's will for our lives. And God will show up and show out. And when we think we can't, or we don't have it, or we're not good enough, or underqualified, we just got to trust God. We have to breathe God in, breathe us out. And I've learned to do that a lot over the last few years. An example that the Lord has really been dealing with me on is praying out loud for people, especially in public. I have a fear of public speaking anyway, and I just avoid it at all costs. But He's opened many doors for me to pray for people and to talk, and people I don't even know. I was going through a line at Walmart. This was probably, it was last year sometime. And the cashier started to tell me a little bit about her story and the things that her son was going through and stuff like that. And so I told her I would be praying for her. And she went on to tell me more about her situation. And I felt it coming. And I thought, oh, Lord, don't do this to me here. And sure enough, I felt it. And so I told her, I said, tell you what, after you check out, this next person, I'll pray for you. And she says, oh, honey, you don't have to wait till I finish checking that person out. You can pray for me right now. And there I was in Walmart praying for this woman as she was checking out the customer that was behind me. And what's so amazing in that was that I could not have done it in my own strength. No way, no how. I had to pray, God, be my mouthpiece. Give me the wisdom. Move in and through me and help me get through this. And I did. And she cried. And it was just an amazing experience. But every time that I step out, every time that I'm obedient, it gets that much easier the next time to do it. And so I just want to encourage you guys to always be obedient. Listen to that still small voice and trust that God has got your back no matter what. He's always faithful no matter what. And that may not look like what we want it to look like. We may be like, God, what are you doing here? What are you thinking? Are you sure this is for me? How come I'm in this situation? But he's got it, and he has a purpose and a plan for your life. He's got a purpose and a plan for mine. And we just have to trust him and trust in his timing and be willing to walk in his will no matter what that looks like. Anyway, hope you guys have an abundantly blessed Sunday.